Welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Nonprofit Podcast. I'm Cherry Chen, your nonprofit CFO, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey. This podcast dives into the real world of nonprofit leadership, sharing inspiring stories, experiences, and the truth about what it takes to operate a nonprofit successfully. Think of this as your mastermind session on the go. Now, without further ado, please welcome today's nonprofit leader. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Nonprofit, where we're trying to build a platform for executive director to mastermind with each other. Today, I have a special guest here, Nick Neuheimer, from the CEO of Canadian Association of Radiologists. Welcome, Nick.
Hi, Jerry. Pleasure to be with you here today.
Yeah, so Nick, tell us a little bit about your background. You've been with the Canadian Association of Radiologists, CAR, this is the 10th year.
Going into my 10th year, yes. It feels like just the other day that I started there. I came into association management sort of accidentally. I was a senior economist of the Conference Board of Canada here in Ottawa, and which was right next door to the Canadian Medical Association. And after a few years working at the Conference Board, I moved to the Canadian Medical Association.
Yeah.
I worked there as an economist primarily, but it also started to bleed into association management, which is where I got into the Canadian Society of Association Executives. And I pursued my Certified Association Executive designation, which led me beyond the Canadian Medical Association to the Cardiovascular Society, and now is my role as CEO of the Canadian Association of Radiologists.
Yeah, that's quite a career from economist to now leading association for many, many years now. So why is there a switch, or economics is not as fun anymore?
I found myself, similar to this podcast room in an office for hours and hours doing analysis, and I really wanted to get outside of the office. I had a little bit of that opportunity when I would give a presentation here or there, but I really wanted to get out more and to be more interactive with people. And so the association management space definitely provides that greater latitude and also leadership opportunities rather than become a better analyst or sort of a lead analyst, become more of a leader of people and organization. And the association management space allowed for that, as well as an opportunity to lead on a national and even international stage.
Yeah. So you did not stop, even though you got, even though you went to school for economics.
Yes.
Already you have some background. I would say that some business background.
Yes.
To a certain extent, and you did not stop your education there. You decided to take on the CAE, the Certified Association Executive Program. What got you over there to pursue further education?
When I was at the Canadian Medical Association, there was a woman, Carol Rochford, who was at that time the executive director of the Canadian Society of Physician Executives, and she was doing her Certified Association Executive course, and she said, "Hey, Nick, why don't you try a course, and why don't you see how it goes?" And the first course I think I took was on strategic planning, which is something that I was always interested in.
Yeah.
One thing led to another, and I got into the Certified Association Executive designation, but really more than that, the community, the association executive community here in Ottawa, that was a very strong community, and encouraged me to continue pursuing becoming an association executive.
So you were also the president of the Ottawa Gatineau chapter of the Canadian Society of Association Executive.
Yes, that's skipping over a few stories, like resuming ahead on the podcast. But really, it all happened, and I was just speaking with Nancy Barrett, who's also a certified association executive, about my very first meeting, in-person meeting, which I think is so important. It was at the Sheraton Hotel. Downtown here in Ottawa, and Nancy reached out and shook my hand and welcomed me to the Canadian Association of Association Executives Ottawa Gatineau chapter. And I started, she was really very good at helping me become a better networker, or better at networking and meeting other people. And really, the shared experience of association management really drew me further into the community, and then led me to pursue a leadership role in the Ottawa Gatineau chapter.
So I'm assuming that you are finding value in networking.
I find value in networking. Yeah, I was listening to actually another interesting podcast where there's the things you have to do. You have your primary responsibilities. There's things you want to do, and there's the thing you should do. And in the should do box or area is networking. It's not something that is natural to a lot of people. But it really helps you grow professionally. I would say so important for you to grow professionally, but also helps you grow personally. And I think, success is often like capitalizing on the agency of others and working through other people. And you find in the community, whatever the professional community, for me was the association executive community, that I learned much more from my peers than I felt like I was giving back. And so it really encouraged me to further invest my time in networking with that group. And I met so many interesting people and many mentors that helped me on my professional career.
That's amazing. So is there one particular thing that you pick up from networking with these people, or one of the time, do you recall one of the times that you're really down, because as we all know, association leader, it's a lonely job. It is like an entrepreneur, but you have a bunch of boss that you need to kind of like be accountable for. So is there a time in your career that you turn to the network and you get what you need?
Absolutely, Cherry. That's a very good question, and I think is the 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 greatest return on investment of networking is developing people, that mentors and other colleagues that you can count on when you're looking for some direction. And yes, there are many opportunities. There's lots of challenges throughout a career as a CEO or as a senior leader, actually as a professional, really in anything. And to lean on others, either colleagues or mentors, is invaluable. And there's some of the things that you can read in a book, or listen to a podcast, but really having a person that you can call that knows you and can draw on their experience and perspective and provide really good objective advice on their experience and how to move forward in a challenging situation. There's so many times where I've called that network upon that network, and they always answer, and it's really really a great pleasure and return on investment. I'm not to overuse that term, but of that community.
Hello, Unfiltered Nonprofit listeners. It's Cherry Chan here, your host and the CEO of Otis Financial Solutions. Let's talk about something that can be a major headache for many nonprofits: managing your finances. Are you feeling overwhelmed by budgeting, financial reports, or keeping up with compliance? You're not alone. Many nonprofit leaders struggle with these issues too, but you don't have to. At Otis Financial Solutions, we specialize in making financial management easy for nonprofit leaders and associations leaders. For over 18 years, we've been turning financial stress into peace of mind. Our services are designed to meet your unique needs, from day-to-day bookkeeping to strategic financial planning. Imagine having more time to focus on your mission, knowing that your finances are in experts' hands. If that sounds like something you need, I'm offering a no obligation 20-minute consultation. Let's discuss your challenges and explore how Otis can help you achieve your goals. Visit nonprofitcfo.ca to book your call today. Let's simplify your financial management together. That's awesome. So now, fast forward to today. We started this network called Ottawa Association Executive Network. It's primarily on UNNC. We're fortunate enough to be part of the people who help organize some of the events for Ottawa Association Executive Network. So tell us why you start this whole network.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to thank you, Cherry Chan, for your leadership and the Otis Group for supporting the Ottawa Association Network so early on and taking that leap of faith and trust that it was going to be successful, which I believe we are. So, yeah, the transition between the Canadian Society of Association Executives Ottawa Gatineau chapter that was in place here in Ottawa and Gatineau in both official languages, really, um, interrupted really by COVID. And so during COVID, everything stopped. A lot of in-person meetings stopped for many different networks. And so when we wanted to try to get things going again, there was a bit of a vacuum. There were certainly online meetings for association executives that were going on. Some were, fairly well attended.
Yeah.
But I found, and certainly I don't believe this is a generational attribute that you don't you're not able to build that level of camaraderie or trust online as you are in person. And so many other people in the community that I had gotten to know through the chapter also felt the same feeling. And so Nancy and I had been talking about it for a long time, and I said, all right, let's get together and put together a scheduled event for a year or two, because it was going to take at least a year or two of investment of holding meetings, letting the community know that we were there, in order to, if you use the analogy of a garden, planting the seed and letting it take root. And I believe, we've had just 2 meetings. They've been sold out events, and a lot of great feedback for people wanting to come back for more, and a further willingness of actually to connect further, have discussion groups, and really reinvigorate that community through those in-person meetings.
Yeah. And those are not just meetings and networking events and just having coffees. Like those are actual learning events as well. I remember last time we had a topic on governance, and I am actually connecting the moderator with one of my clients as well. We're going to do a project together because there's that need, because everyone like go to the event and you hear something and you realize that, oh, you aren't doing certain things within the nonprofit organization, then that trigger something also. Hey, how do I become a better leader, and what kind of resources do I need to get to improve whatever we have? So I think it's a great event and great networking opportunity too.
Yeah, our first event was on advocacy, and the second one on governance. And I think too often you can get people that are successful can be complacent, and certainly this is how I feel, that you start to you don't know the things you don't know. And coming to a safe environment with colleagues, and then with a professional. So our moderator is a partner at a law firm here in Ottawa, and has spent a better part of her professional career focused on governance, and governance actually on not-for-profits. And so much was discussed on the panel. But Terry, as you're saying, it's the many conversations offline and after the meeting that happened informally, that a lot of people have built on. And I've heard since that meeting, I've been in contact with Man lawyers to follow up on not governance, but on employment handbook. The things that you didn't think you needed, but then it was like they do come to light. Is the real value of those in-person meetings, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. Just kind of provide like sometimes a reminder, like, hey, this is the best practice. I'm not there yet, and it's just stirring up the things that we in our mind what we need to do. So these are great events. I love them. And what gap or need did you see in the community that our network, the Ottawa Association Executive Network, is designed to fill?
I think, one of the biggest gaps or the need in the community, especially in the introduction, I've been at the Canadian Association of Radiologists, going on 10 years now, and actually the next session for the Ottawa Association Executive Network is on succession planning.
Yes.
And that we could talk about succession planning at the CEO or the executive director level, but really what I found most interesting in the great team that we have at the Canadian Association of Radiologists, I've met at in-person meetings, the Ottawa Board of Trade meetings, different meetings around town. There's a group called the Health Health Action Lobby, and I met two of the employees at the CER or team members at the CER there at that meeting, and so we're always, I think, executives and senior people looking to hire good people to be part of their team, and I think the succession planning at all levels, senior, mid-level, and junior levels, is optimal when you know people or you through your network. I'm looking for a manager of education or a manager of advocacy. I know a really good person. You got to meet them, and then you meet them maybe not that meeting, but at the next meeting. And it's really difficult to do that online. Online discussions can be really valuable for subject matter, but you don't get that next level of trust that you have with colleagues, and to get to know someone. I was talking to someone today about you can hire someone for the skills, but really it's the fit, that you need to check and double check. And when you see someone in person, you have a better assessment of, do you think it's the right fit for our organization? And that's the biggest gap that I believe that initially the Ottawa Association Executive Network is filling. And so it's important that it's not just for senior executives, but especially for junior or mid-level career people who are starting off in the not-for-profit world.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you see our little Ottawa Association Executive Network? It's not little, but it's startup. We're a startup. So how do you see OAEN support and connect association executive in Ottawa?
Well, I think in change, and they say that change happens at the speed of trust. So it's rebuilding a level of trust within their community here amongst association executives, building the trust to attend the meeting, to share professional experiences, and that is a sort of an overall level of what does success look like for the OAEN. But really, it can be as many as when I was president of the local chapter here for the CSAE. I think we had about 500 or 600 rostered members, and think about what that does to raise the profile of not-for-profits in the nation's capital, as many of these national organizations lobby the federal government. What's happening today that wasn't happening, let's say 2025, that was happening in 2016 when I started the CR, is there are many, many, many different organizations. And, I'm reading a book about the difference between information and truth. So there's a lot of information about, let's say, radiology. Our organization is 87 years old, and we spend a lot of time, energy, and really money establishing what the science is behind the practice of radiology and national guidelines for radiology. Similar organizations, like it's easier to organize a group of a focus group that can speak for any national project like radiology or forestry or whatever industry, but they don't have that same level or the burden of truth that we do.
Yeah.
So I just the CR just joined an organization called Imagine Canada, where they work very hard at certifying or accrediting not-for-profits, which I think is a trend that will continue. So coming back to the Ottawa Association Executive Network, the power of association executives sharing that experience and working towards those truths, is a very important part, not just for our associations, but I think it's an important role that we play in society.
That's amazing. So, like, I think everyone should come out to the upcoming events, and we'll try our best to put all the events up on a website so everyone can have vision to see what's happening in the future. And so then they can put it in the calendar where we can let people know and plan ahead of our events, around our events.
Yeah, absolutely. Understanding that, everyone has different things. Before we started recording, you have hockey or Brazilian
Yes.
jiu-jitsu or skiing
Yes.
or skating on the canal, board meetings and that are out, people travel. So we want to put forward a calendar event so if you miss one, you can get to the next one. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, thank you so much, Nick, for coming in on our podcast and sharing your vision for the Ottawa Association Executive Network and sharing a little bit about your professional background as well.
Sherry Chen, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. As we wrap up, I want to share a bit more about what we do at Otis Financial Solutions. For the past 18 years, Otis Financial Solutions has been dedicated to enhancing the financial management and strategic planning capabilities of hundreds of associations and nonprofits across Canada. Our extensive experience has enabled us to deliver tailored financial solutions that drive growth and enhance sustainability for nonprofits and associations. If you are interested in learning more about how Otis Financial Solutions can support your organization, I would love to offer you a no obligation 20-minute call. Let's discuss your unique challenges and explore how we would be able to help you achieve your goals.